Hey y'all, so I finally gotten the time to kind of digest the missing link news and also the Kingdom Hearts 4 update that we got. Kingdom Hearts missing link news and Kingdom Hearts 4 news, that all happened when I went on a 2 week vacation. Like, I'm talking like day two of my vacation, they drop all this stuff. And like, of course, for like 3 or 4 months, we hear nothing. And then I go on this vacation and then they just drop all this stuff. But I did make a video of my first like reactions and my first impressions of all the news because I stayed away from news while I was away and I came back and um I found out that Missing Link was canceled. I have that on video and everything, but um I think I just rather would just talk about it after I kind of like digested it a little bit. So obviously the news about Missing Link getting canceled sucks. And it's something that I think no one really expected. There of course, like, there are no absolutes, right? There are some people who were out there saying it was going to get canceled. Whether or not they actually believe that, whether or not they were trolling, who knows? But I think the vast majority of Kingdom Hearts fans did not expect Missing Link to get canceled for a number of reasons. My personal reasons as to why I didn't expect it was because they put so much money into it. They put all this money, they put all this time, they did all these betas, and to me, it just doesn't make a whole lot of business sense to actually close or to cancel something that you put all this money into. Now, the reasons that they gave that they canceled the game was because they didn't think that they could make something that was satisfactory for the long term. And because of the type of game that they were making and the issues that a lot of us saw early on, I could kind of see that. While it was unexpected that it would get canceled, I understand why, if that is the real reason that it got canceled. And one thing that makes me kind of feel like almost a like I told you so kind of moment. Um, when I expressed my feelings towards Missing Link being a game that constantly gets updated in terms of story points, I was very let me see, pessimistic about it, or I was very like, I was not in favor of that. Basically, I thought that the way that they did that with Union Cross, Dark Road, I thought that that kind of took too long to kind of implement and have those story beats be updated in a timely manner. And if we expected this story to be concluded by the time Kingdom Hearts 4 came out, then that would mean that either A, they would rush it, or B, Kingdom Hearts 4 would take a lot longer than what we either want or we anticipate. So, them saying that they didn't think that they could provide a satisfactory long term experience, it kind of there's like these there are a couple of different ways that we can kind of interpret that. One, to me, that sounds like that the story that they were trying to tell just wasn't that long and it wasn't that vast. So them trying to stretch out a story that's not all that long over the course of however many months or years just didn't make a whole lot of sense. And it also wouldn't have been an enjoyable experience like they said, because Union Cross itself had like 780 missions. And me personally, I never finished it because I think I got into like 250, maybe 300. Not even, I know I definitely didn't get halfway through. And I still didn't feel like I got a whole lot of story out of my gameplay experience. There were way too many missions that needed to be completed before you got to the next story beat. And that's kind of what I'm getting at when it comes to them trying to stretch out this story that just is not that long and it's not that vast and it's just not that dense. So if that's the case, then that makes sense to me that they made that call. I am kind of disappointed that we won't get to play it. I kind of wish that they would just kind of put it out in the state that it's in, and then let us see what it's about and let us enjoy it how it is. But I guess they can't do that. Um, and the other thing that we can kind of interpret from their explanation as to why they canceled it is because the main gameplay mechanic, or the main progression mechanic that they had, being tied to GPS and the ability points and things like that, that being the core mechanic around this game, I think they got a lot of pushback about that. I think they got a lot of negative feedback about that, and they found it very difficult to pivot and try to make something different, or try to make something make sense with the what is it, that astral plane, astral world, or something like that. I can't remember what they called it. And that also being a reason why they can't seem to believe that they can provide a long-term experience. So that makes sense to me. If that is the real reason that they, like, if they're saying that they don't think that they could provide a long-term experience, if that's the real reason they got canceled, then I believe that. I can understand that, at least, because I was already skeptical to begin with about that longevity of that game. Now, what I'm hoping and wishing for when it comes to Missing Link is, I hope and I pray that they do a movie just like they did with Back Cover. I think it would be so dope to see a Missing Link movie, and the CGI rendered models, all of that done with Missing Link would be so cool, because at the end of the day, we need that story. Because now we still have these questions that go unanswered. We still don't know anything about what's going on with Brain. Are there two brains? Are there two, like, different timelines? What's up with Sigurd? And these new characters that they introduced, what is their importance to the story? And Ephemer, Skuld, Strelitzia. I imagine that we'd probably learn more about Strelitzia in Missing Link 2. So, I mean, we have all these gaps now that we just are just going to go unanswered. So we need that content at the end of the day, because they were saying that Missing Link was literally the Missing Link. Missing Link was the glue that held together the story when it came to the time of fairy tales and the current time, the time of the foretellers and the time of young Xehanort's upbringing and his training, and the time of Kingdom Hearts 4 and the tie to what Quadratum is. So we need that. We need that content at the end of the day. Unless they try to tweak Kingdom Hearts 4, which that could happen. That could work. But I just don't see that working all that well because of all of the things that they've set up. All of the plot points that they've set up. All of these different aspects of the story that were created because of these mysteries. And I think it would just be a much better idea to just make the movie. They have the cutscenes. I even think, now that I'm thinking about it, if they just drop the cutscenes, that would be cool too. Because they obviously have the cutscenes. We saw a lot of cutscenes. They may not have all of them done, but drop the cutscenes. Why not? Like, as they're not going anywhere, drop the cutscenes. Or just make the movie. I would pay for the movie. I'd pay for the movie. I'd pay for the cutscenes, to be honest. Now, how much I would pay, that's a different story. But I'd be willing to do that for some Kingdom Hearts content. I am a Kingdom Hearts simp. I am. I just am. So I'd be willing to do that. Um, but what I'm expecting them to do, if they do decide to do the movie, they would just put it with another collection, probably, like they did with back cover, because they would want to charge for it, and the best way to charge for that would be to put it in a collection. So yeah, that's kind of how I see that happening. Or they'll do it like the Kingsglaive thing with Final Fantasy 15, or they'll do an Advent Children play. But yeah, at the end of the day, all I want is the content. All I want is the story. I just want to know. I just need the answers to the questions that we have that Missing Link was supposed to provide. And that's it. When it comes to Kingdom Hearts 4, my initial reactions to the new renders, super cool. I love seeing new CGI, or I don't even know. That might not even be CGI. That might be Sora in game engine that we see. I think it was towards the bottom of the screenshots, like the bottom right of the screenshots. We see different screenshots of Sora. My only hesitance with that, my only reservation with the new screenshots of Sora and Strelitzia is that they look a little less like themselves now. Of course, like we've only seen one version of Strelitzia in engine, but Sora looks a little less like Sora to me. Compared to the first version that we saw in the KH4 reveal trailer, I think this version of Sora is starting to look a little less like Sora. And it's in the eyes for me. The eyes are starting to feel more generic. They don't really have much character to them. And I could say the same with Strelitzia too. I think with Strelitzia, her eyes seem bigger in the reveal trailer. And her eyes in the new screenshots, they kind of look a little scary. They kind of look a little like dead and demented. And maybe that's on purpose, because we know that Quadratum is the place where people go when they essentially die. So maybe they're supposed to look that way in there. But I would still say that the eyes look bigger in the KH4 reveal trailer. And I think I prefer them that way because they have that. That's kind of what gives these characters the anime look while still being grounded in reality, which is what will keep it tied down to Kingdom Hearts. Kingdom Hearts is anime at the end of the day. So if we lose that anime feel, then I feel like we're going to lose some of that Kingdom Hearts feel too. But we know that we've seen them tweak things after reveals. We saw Aqua's chin get reduced from the what opening was that? Was that the KH3 opening or the 2.8 opening? I think it was 2.8 opening. I don't know. Either way, we saw it happen. So I think that we are still some time away from Kingdom Hearts 4. Kingdom Hearts 4 seems to be in a state very similar to 2016 Kingdom Hearts 3. Or is that 2017? Let me see. Let me check. 2016. So October 27th, 2016 is when we got the screenshots of Olympus Coliseum, where they showed the new drive forms or Keyblade transformations that we knew as drive forms at the time. And the screenshots that we got for 2016 Olympus Coliseum is very reminiscent of what the screenshots that we got today, or not today, but the ones that we got recently. It's very similar. I get a very similar tone from that screenshot, or those screenshots that we got showing Sora's abilities, the new Heartless, and things like that. And the reason why it gives me that same kind of feel is because there's an apparent lack of detail. And it is a little nitpicky, but if we want to be real about where we are, we kind of have to nitpick. I don't want to come off as somebody who is trying to like be like negative about the process or the progress of Kingdom Hearts 4. I want Kingdom Hearts 4 to come out as soon as it's ready and as soon as possible. But the lack of detail in those screenshots is very telling of the current state of Kingdom Hearts 4. But I will say is that the screenshots with Mickey are actually surprisingly detailed. So I think that we're in a spot where there are things that are more fleshed out than others. I think there are parts of Kingdom Hearts 4 that they are very confident about and that they're far along. But when it comes to Quadratum, the screenshots that we got in Quadratum, they seem to be very alpha, beta stage. And what I'm talking about is the lack of detail on Sora. The lighting is a little lacking there. There are no shadows coming off of, or there are no shadows on the ground when you look at the Heartless and Kingdom Hearts 3. They have shadows on the ground. There is that detail there. So I'm kind of using that as a benchmark for where we are in Kingdom Hearts 4 because that's like the closest example that I have of something very similar that we've gotten in the past. So what does that mean? If we're in that same state or a very similar state from 2016 Kingdom Hearts 3, then we're a couple years off from Kingdom Hearts 4. I have always said that I see Kingdom Hearts 4 coming out late 2026, early 2027. I'm leaning more towards first half of 2027 probably being the earliest that we get Kingdom Hearts 4. That's not official and that's nothing concrete. That's just based on the data and that's just based on the information that we have. Kingdom Hearts 4 is a much different game than what we're used to seeing because of the Quadratum element. So I believe that they're going to take more time on that than we anticipated. Now, here are a couple things, though, that can actually change because of Missing Link's cancellation. Now we have an all hands on deck situation with Kingdom Hearts 4. I'm not exactly sure if they're really going to be the same teams that were working on Missing Link in Kingdom Hearts 4, but at the end of the day, there's a potential for more hands to be touching Kingdom Hearts 4 now because of the lack of necessity needed for Kingdom Hearts Missing Link. They're not going to be updating. They're not going to be focused on making cutscenes, and they're not going to be focused on keeping the Missing Link like thing alive, right? So now we're going to be able to have more attention put on Kingdom Hearts 4. Now, that could definitely speed up the process of Kingdom Hearts 4 coming out, but I do still think we have to also remember that Final Fantasy VII Remake is still a thing. They're not done with that. And you better bet your sweet bippy that Final Fantasy is going to be their highest priority. Square Enix's priority is making money, as we've seen. We've seen the business report, and we've seen the whole refocus on how they're going to be doing Square Enix now. So if their focus is on profit and making money, Final Fantasy VII is probably going to be their focus. Now, that doesn't mean that I believe that Kingdom Hearts 4 won't make them profit, but we've seen game developers and game studios make decisions that are questionable for a long time. And we've seen them make decisions that gamers don't agree with for a long time. We've seen them make decisions based on data that gamers have been able to disprove for a long time. So if we're thinking like a corporation and we're thinking like like investors, they're probably gonna look at Final Fantasy VII and be like, we should do that first. But at the same time, there are some things that Kingdom Hearts has going for it. The Disney attachment that Kingdom Hearts has could also help with the argument that, like, hey, let's work on this first and let's get this done faster. Who knows? But I'm willing to bet that we'll see Final Fantasy VII first and then Kingdom Hearts 4. I would love to be proven wrong. Don't get it twisted. I would love to be proven wrong by this. I would love to be like pleasantly surprised that we're actually much further along in Kingdom Hearts 4 than we believe. So those are my thoughts on the news and the state of Kingdom Hearts 4. Because, I mean, let's be real. Like, 2026 is so close that if Kingdom Hearts 4 is in the state that it's in the screenshot, then I don't think that's enough time to like really get it to where it needs to be. Now that may, again, like I said, that may not be the current state of Kingdom Hearts 4. That might just be a screenshot from some other time. Like that might be an early screenshot from way earlier. So we don't really know. But if I'm basing my judgment off of that and assuming that that is the current state of Kingdom Hearts 4, then yes, I am leaning towards a 2027 earliest window that we see, first half of 2027. Late 2026 could still be a thing. Like, if it does happen in 2026, Q4, like, it's not coming out before Q4 2026. Like, absolutely not. But I'm leaning towards second half, first half 2027. So that's it. Those are my thoughts. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Let me know. I love to talk about it. I would love to be convinced otherwise. I would love to be on the side of we're seeing it earlier, because that would make me happier. Do you want a Missing Link movie? Do you think that would be cool? Do you think that would be lame? Yeah. I want the movie. All right. Bye-bye.